Shalom. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Kahala Yahweh Shema Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. And double honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone that taught me this truth. And much respect to the Akim, my Talib in his work. And also to the believers scattered across the four corners of the earth, the hopeful elect. And you I say, Shalom. So yeah, I just want to go through a quick lesson, for the hopeful elect, Lord willing, would be edifying, alright? As you just saw on the clip, you had a nigga that got put to sleep, for arguing over Bible verses. And these are the times that we're coming into, very perilous and grimy times, which a lot of division and opposition, a lot of opinions are going to be thrown out. And ultimately, due to the lack of resources and answers, the people are going to be paying against each other, alright? So within that, we're going to be separated from people who are outside this truth, including family as well, your mother, your father, brother, sister, cousin, your best friend for 20 some years, all that stuff the most I don't even care about at the end of the day, because they're outside of the temple. No matter if they're Israelites or not, they're outside of the temple if they're not within the gospel of Yahweh Shema Shai. Alright, so you likewise, you got to make that mental separation from the world, alright, your family. Even though the scripture say, honor your father and your mother, but you got to look at it as, my family are dead. If they're not in this truth, then they're literally dead because what they have, a lack of understanding. I think it's Proverbs 21:16, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, he that wanted by the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. So the Lord's not concerned with them right now. So you likewise got to put them off in the spirit unless the Lord has mercy on them. This is how you pretty much prep your mind, for the days to come. And on top of that, you gotta be real, discreet in what you reveal to certain people during these times, because everyone's gonna be looking for somebody to blame, during these times. And we understand that we're gonna be made a target, gonna be demonized in the media. So when you revealing all this information to certain people, then they're gonna remember you, and you're gonna fit that category that is pushed out on the mainstream media or whatnot, and you're gonna make yourself a target. As the elders and the brothers in Dallas went into a video, recently dealing with, just pretty much not casting your pearls before swine, and not letting your left hand know what the right hand is doing, not telling everyone everything that you know. All right, scripture say a wise man, concealeth knowledge, something to that effect. But anyway, you gotta be mindful of what you put out there, because you can't trust these people, your family. You can't trust no one who is attached to the matrix. All right, someone who is attached to the matrix. Speaking of, this beast system, they don't want this place to end. They just want it to go back to normal. So when shit hit the fan, they're gonna be willing to do everything it takes to get back to that. You see, it's gonna be every man for himself, and if it's a war in your head, best believe, hey, I got some information on this guy, what he said. Alright, you're gonna pick him up right now. So, with all that being said, you got a spiritual family, man. Once you were brought into this truth, you transferred from your carnal family, alright, and you join into your spiritual family, dealing with the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai, resting into the hopeful elect right now. Alright, Lord, when we be a part of that number? But your family, like I said before, doesn't matter at this point, okay? Who are not in the faith. You see, I just put it like this: if you had to choose between your mother, who is a Jesus worshiper, or a fellow brother or sister in the faith, who would you choose, man? You see, who would the most I choose? They would choose the one that's in the faith. You see, so it's a hard pill to swallow, man, but hey, that's what the Lord requires. Matter of fact, the Lord made that point about separation, in the book of Matthew, the 12th chapter. And somebody know where I'm going, all right? Matthew 12:46. Speaking about Yahweh Shai, says, while he yet talked to the people, behold, his mother and his brother stood without, desiring to speak with him. Then one said unto him, behold, thy mother and thy brother stand without, desiring to speak with thee. And the brother Ram up here in the Birmingham camp made mention of the fact that his mother and his brother was somebody for his carnal family, all right, the carnal side of his family. And verse 48 is going to go on to say, but he answered and said unto him that told him, who is my mother and who are my brethren? All right, and watch what he say. And he stretched forth his hand toward his disciples and said, behold, my mother and my brethren. Okay, so there was a separation right there. He called his disciples his mother and his brother, you know, dismissing his immediate family, which is it would be very offensive. It's very offensive to some people to hear that, but it just shows you that the Most High is dealing with the spiritual side, and it's going to show you that in verse 50. For whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother. You see, so whoever is doing the will of Yahweh by Shemel Shai and his counsel, the same is my brother, sister, and mother. All right, because of what? We've been gathered by the word. We've been gathered into the sheepfold by the gospel. You see, so with that being said, you know, you gotta be willing to sacrifice. Just look at Abraham. All right, the Lord called him, said, hey, get thee away from that kindred and away from that country, and I will show, you know, unto thee a country, you know, filled with milk and honey. I will make thee a father of many nations, roughly paraphrasing. And so, you know, we are partakers of that same hope, you know. And we know what Abraham did. Abraham got the fuck on. At the time, his name was Abram, but he got the hell on, right? And said, I believe what the Lord said. So the hell with my family, who I grew up with, I think he was like 80-some years old. Might have been older than that, you know. Don't quote me on that, but he was old. But he believed the Most High and he departed. All right, so the same with us. So Luke 14. It's like here. Luke 14. Man, I need some long chapters. Like it. Luke 14 and 26. It says, if any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yeah, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. All right. Here the scriptures say, you know, he that increaseth in knowledge increaseth in sorrow. Once you really find out how corrupt, you know, this system is, and being under the hands of Esau, you know, you really hate your life. The scriptures tell you, I think it's in the book of Sirach, it's better to die than to live a beggar's life. And we're living a beggar's life, all right? But we have died in the spirit, see, and we are alive in Yahweh Shai. So again, if any man come to me and hate not his father, that word hate really just means to love less. When you go into that Greek word, it says love less. So you can't put anything above this truth, including your family. So your father, mother, wife, and children, and brother and sisters, yeah, and also his own life, he cannot be my disciple. And that's a sacrifice, all right? For the men, for the women too, all right? You got to leave off from this world and depart from it. And with doing that, now you are adopted into the spiritual family, and your old life is gone. All right, your old life, it don't even matter no more. You know, you still love your family and stuff, but all this stuff comes second now when it comes to the truth. Okay, and so from there, let's go to the book of 2nd Esdras. Okay, because the Lord is gathering the ones that are in the like mind, right? As I've said before, 2nd Esdras. 2nd Esdras 8 and verse 50, it says, for many great misery shall be done to them in the latter time. They shall dwell in the world because they have walked in great pride. Right, just look at your family right now. All right, more than likely they're not going to make it because what? They're not alive. They're not within the faith. You know, so you got to prep your mind for that. That's what this truth is all about. Understand that your family, you know, could quite possibly not make it because, as the scripture say, Proverbs 29:16, if I'm not mistaken, he that wanteth out the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. So right now, your family is within the dead accounts of the dead, all right? So it says, verse 51, but understand thou for thyself. You see, this is a selfish walk. And it goes on to say, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. You see? So we're seeking for the glory that be like unto us. That's why everyone has the same mind within this truth. Okay? We're not looking for, you know, somebody from IUIC or ISUBK. All right? They're not considered brothers because they're not within the faith. You see? They don't believe in the same thing that we believe in. Ultimately, their life is right here in Babylon the Great. They're not hastening the day, you know. So when the pressure comes, when stuff starts to get scarce, you're going to see these people turn on each other because they're not going to have the faith that we have to make it through that time. As Isaiah 33:6 says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be this, you know, the stability of that times and the strength of that salvation, you see. Okay, 52. For unto you is paradise open. The tree of life is planted. The time to come is prepared. Plenteous is made ready. A city is built, and rest is allowed. Yeah, perfect goodness and wisdom. So the kingdom is going to be for the elect. All right. And ultimately, you know, dealing with your family and stuff like that, your friends, you know, you're going to get them back in the kingdom of heaven. That's Matthew the 19th chapter. They all coming back if you just do the will of Yahweh by Shema Shai. You know, and it takes faith to do that. Okay. So 2 Edges 12 and 36, it says, thou only, speaking about, this is Lord pretty much speaking to Edges, thou only has been meet to know this secret of the highest. All right. So he was, you know, he was tailor-made to know these secrets of the Most High. All right. It says, therefore write all these things that thou hast seen in a book, and hide them and teach them to the wise of the people, showing that this is a secret counsel. Okay. It says, whose heart thou knowest may comprehend and keep these secrets. Because what we're involved with is like pretty much like the Illuminati, right? Yeah, we are the illuminated ones on the right hand side. So just like the illuminated ones on the left hand side, the Illuminati, you know, they have secret counsel. You know, they don't reveal that information to everybody, not to the average Edomite on the street. You know, they reveal it to people who are like-minded and who are able to comprehend and keep those secrets. So it's the same with us. You know, we're searching for the elect. Okay. And that's a family. It's a family within itself. It's a secret counsel, all right? So, let me see here. Verse 30 again, and teach them to the wise of the people, whose hearts thou knowest may comprehend and keep these secrets. So, anyone who has ears to hear, you know, and eyes to see, and who are able to keep these secrets, meaning that they are able to retain these secrets, well, as I think it's in the book of, is it 2 Timothy, if I'm not mistaken. Don't commit the same thou to faithful men, who shall be able to teach others also. You know, so this is for the ones who are able to learn it and teach others also. Okay, and also for the believers. All right. But yeah, I mean, you know, you don't want to be goddamn tussling with somebody trying to force him to get the scriptures, and you ultimately get into an argument, and nigga put their hands on you and choke the shit out you, you know, and kill your ass, and you be, you know, you pass to being a fool because the Lord told you to teach them to people who are able to teach others also. All right. Proverbs 2 and 10 says, when wisdom entered into thy heart, and knowledge is pleasant unto thy soul, it says, discretion shall preserve thee, and understanding shall keep thee. All right. I'm gonna put the definition of discretion right here, so you see what it means. All right. Okay. So yeah, you want to be careful in how you move. You want to be real discreet and calculative in how you move and how you talk around certain people, being real aware of who you're dealing with. You know, you can't just be rash with your mouth and say anything at your mouth. You know, people be listening, man. You know, and when the opportunity comes, you know, they gonna remember what the hell you said. That nigga they're talking about putting white folks in slavery, right? You know, you need to report that nigga. You know, keep an eye on that nigga right there. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, white folks the devil and shit. You know, you can't be saying it around, especially people at your job. You can't be doing it at your job, man, right? You're jeopardizing your money and shit. You can't be doing that. So you gotta play Clark Kent in certain situations. All right. So yeah, discretion shall preserve thee, understanding shall keep thee, to deliver thee from the way of the evil man. All right. Ultimately, that's speaking about Esau. But then again, you got Esau, who is a father of many nations, you know, through the spirit, because everyone has picked up the spirit of Esau. All right. Esau has corrupted the whole world, so everyone outside this truth is considered a son or a daughter of Esau, basically, you know. It says, from the man that speaketh froward things. Okay. So discretion is going to get you out of trouble in certain situations. You know, you willing to take an L, you know, you're not always trying to prove your point. You see, you just letting things go by, because ultimately these people are going to be destroyed anyway. So why waste your time trying to fight with someone who doesn't believe in what you believe in? Let them have that battle, because ultimately Yahweh Shai is going to kill all these niggas anyway. You see, and that's where patience comes into play. Yeah, so Ephesians 5 and 15, it says, as we all know, see then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. All right. Scriptures also say, A wise man's heart discerns both time and judgment. So when you're circumspect, you're regarding time, all right? You're being circumspect about the situation that you're in, all right? You're judging, you're using discretion, you're being discreet, you know, and you're seeing, you know, what's the right thing to do and what's not the right thing to do, you know, right? So it's a time and place for everything. So again, see then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil, right? You got a lot of niggas that are gonna be willing to cross you up in that day because the Lord's gonna turn neighbor against neighbor, all right? So let's go to Proverbs 18th chapter. And let's see here, Proverbs 18:6. It says, a fool's lips enter into contention, all right? A fool's lips enter into contention, and his mouth calleth for strokes. So your mouth, you know, if you rash with your mouth, you saying anything out of your mouth, you letting everything out, all right? And the scripture says, a wise man conceal up knowledge. So you, like I was saying before, you know, a cop pull you over and you cuss a nigga out, tell him he Edomite, he going into slavery and shit, nigga might just pull a gun on you, you know? And that's your job. You do the same thing, you'll get fired because what? You were being a fool. So again, a fool's lips enter into contention, and his mouth calleth for strokes. A fool's mouth is his destruction, and his lips are a snare, or the snare of his soul. You see? So you don't know how to hold your words in and be discreet and know when to bring them out and when to hold them in, you know, then you're going to snare yourself and you're going to be led to your own destruction. And that's pretty much tempting the Lord. It's like you can be in an altercation with someone can pull a gun on your ass, all right, and you can be like, nigga, you ain't gonna do shit. No, nigga have a gun in your face like this, you know what I'm saying? Nigga, I bet you won't pull it. Nigga, you ain't gonna do shit. I know you how about my shot got me. You know what I'm saying? It could be some dumb shit like that, and a nigga off your ass because what? You tempted the Lord, you know? The wise thing to do in this situation, be like, okay, you got it, bro. Take the L, right? You got it, right? Or something like that, you know? You can't put gasoline on the fire, right? You gotta pretty much put water on it, man, you know? And that's using his word. So again, a fool's mouth is in his destruction, and his lips are the snare of his soul. Okay. So from there, let's go to Proverbs the 29th chapter. Okay. Proverbs 29 and verse 11. It says, a fool uttereth all his mind, but a wise man keepeth it in to afterwards. A fool uttereth all his mind. Yes, everything that you know, you spewing it out. All right, you letting everyone know your deepest thoughts, your counsel. Now everybody looking at you like a fool. It says, but a wise man keepeth it in to afterwards. All right, after what? After he has judged the situation. You know, you gotta try people in the spirit, and you can't just be letting all your information out. You gotta trust someone, you know, before you start revealing certain information. All right, but a wise man would keep it in to afterwards. Okay, so from there, let's go to the book of Sirach. Got a few more precepts, and I'm gonna close it up. Ecclesiasticus 9 and 18. Sirach with Ecclesiasticus 9 and 18 says, a man of an ill tongue, all right, ill goes into evil. A man of an ill or evil tongue is dangerous in his city, and he that is rash in his talk shall be hated. Okay, and I'm gonna put the definition for rash up there too. Someone who does not regard time, all right, anything that's come out your goddamn mouth. So he that is rash in his talk shall be hated. You see? From now, let's go to Ecclesiasticus, the 22nd chapter. Sirach 22 and 13. Sirach 22 and 13, all right? Talk not much with a fool, and go not to him that have no understanding. You see? So don't talk with a fool, and go not to him that have no understanding. You got to be discreet. You got to have discretion and discernment. Beware of him, lest thou have trouble. And thou shalt never be defiled with his fooleries. You see? So if you understand and you gauge in situation and who you're talking to, you're not going to be defiled in this man's fooleries, because he can ultimately get you into some bullshit. Depart from him, and thou shalt find rest, and never be disquieted with madness. You see, that's a cold precept, you know. So ultimately, you know, understanding that, you should be what? Departing from the ways of these heathen. All right, 2/3 of our people, you know, the heathen all together. All right, and being discreet with how you deal with people. Now, of course, we got to be in with these people in the world, but you know, we're not congregating with them like that. We're just dealing with them because, you know, we're still in the world. So 2 Corinthians 6:17. All right, after understanding all that, wherefore, matter of fact, verse 16, and what agreement have the temple of the Most High with idols? For ye are the temple of the living power, as the Most High Yahweh by Shema Shai have said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their power, and they should be my people. So wherefore come out from among them and be ye separate. All right, spiritually be separate from these people. Don't have the same thoughts, the same action, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you, and I will be a father unto you, and ye should be my sons and daughters, saith the Lord Almighty. All right. So yeah, we're about to head into some very treacherous times, and you're gonna have to use, you know, your wits and the wisdom of the scriptures in order to navigate and to escape, you know, slither, be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove out of certain situations, you know. In every battle, you know, if the battle is not concerning, you know, your salvation, then why fight it? You know, there's no sense of going tick for tack with people in this world over a vain glory or a vain situation, or, you know, that has nothing to do with your salvation. So let them folks have that shit, and just wait for the Lord, man. All right, suffer patient. So with that, Lord, willing, you edify. Till next time I say, Shalom, DTA, the Bible Ball, soon.